Hey guys, this is Introducing and this is the first time I've actually gotten around to recording one of the title cards that I've done for Seamus, or as you guys might know him, SSoHPKC. I have trouble spelling in my head. This is for Anarchy Reigns, which actually came out I think yesterday by the time you guys see this, maybe 2 days ago. And he asked me to do both the black side and the white side for his two different campaigns. Again, he hasn't actually uploaded these at the time that I'm recording this, so I don't know if these are both going to be up at that time, so I hope I'm not spoiling anything. Anyway, also I apologize if there's any kind of like weird jumping around in the video, because I had some real issues recording this and I have no idea why. I was using a new type of Photoshop. I was using CS6 and it seemed to kind of run heavy with Bandicam in the background, so I don't know. But anyway, so for the two different cards, I drew him as Jack for the black side, and then I drew him again as Leo for the white side. And that chainsaw is super phallic and there was nothing I could do about that, so whatever. Anyway, so I already started the sketch and it's pretty like loosey-goosey usually when I do these. I'm trying to get them done as quick as I can because he usually needs them pretty fast, so I didn't go over it too many times, and the perspective on the chainsaw is kind of messed up, but you know, it looked okay in the final version, just trust me on that. So what do I want to say about this? I really hated the position of his body here, and I changed it when I was basically done sketching. I wish I hadn't wasted so much time on it. Like, I wish I kind of would have roughed it out a little better at the beginning. But I didn't, because I'm genius. I also never put the teeth on the chainsaw because I didn't have enough time. And I don't think it's very noticeable on the final title card anyway, like it wouldn't have been had the teeth been there. So, oh well. I tend to draw Seamus a little bit like one of my characters named Dawn, and everybody always brings it up, so I try to make him look a little rougher and gruffer and different, and I hope it works. Oh well. Yeah, there's where I redrew the body, because I didn't like it, but I ended up using parts of my old sketch to kind of fill in the gaps, so I didn't have to redraw it all from scratch. Also, it's always kind of hard to translate some of these characters into... There goes my dog drinking water. It's always kind of hard to translate these characters. Like, Jack has such a small head. And I don't know why. He just has a really teensy tiny head, so it's always a little difficult to kind of try to like translate my sort of cartoony style and like Seamus into that. Like, also a lot of these characters are kind of like hyper versions of real humanity, you know, like they're super muscled or they're super skinny or they're super whatever, and it's really hard to kind of like find a balance and not have the characters look like, or not make him look ridiculous in the character's shoes. I've also, since I've started doing these title cards, I've kind of figured out what works and what doesn't work so far as like what people are actually going to see. Wow, that looked really phallic. Yeah, lol. Anyway, like, I'm trying to make the title cards less like hyper detailed. I keep using the word hyper. I must be feeling hyper today. So I'm trying to not make them as like hyper detailed, because I just don't think people really notice those kind of details and stuff. Like the first title card I did for him was for Assassin's Creed 3, and like, if you've seen it, it's like him jumping off the roofs of buildings and like fire and stuff, and I thought it looked so badass. But then when you actually like see it on the YouTube video, a lot of that stuff kind of gets lost and it's just like blob. So I changed, or I'm starting to like change the way I do them a little bit more. Like, I'm trying to find like a happy balance between lots of detail and making it look cool and like getting the point across. So also, I don't know if these are official images of these characters, but I really like them. Like, if they're kind of concept-y art, I apologize. Concepty. That's a new word. So, yeah. Also, you can see I kind of recycled his head again, so I didn't have to draw it 2 times. I didn't want to draw it twice, so I just recycled it. Also, I inked both of these drawings in Photoshop, which is something I don't normally do unless I'm kind of on a grind. Like, I've got to get stuff. Whoa, that was really weird. I kind of like flickered between the 2 of them for a second there. So yeah, here I'm inking in Photoshop. That's not something I normally do because I find it's not quite as precise. I also use a brush that's kind of fluffy so that if my hand is shaking or whatever, a lot of that shaking gets lost in sort of the texture of the brush. So that's kind of like one way to kind of scapegoat around your hand shaking. When I use Manga Studio to ink, of course, it has like amazing correction. Like it just follows my hand, and I feel like we're on a date together whenever I ink. So it usually comes out a lot better. But this is okay, you know, like I actually don't mind doing it like this. I'm actually doing a lot of art for a little like indie game online right now, and I'm using that as I'm using that kind of inking style, that sort of like fluffy sort of thing. Oops, I forgot some stuff on his hands. Ah, look how muscly and veiny he is. Not Seamus, but Jack. Like, oh my god. I bet he's got oil in his veins to like run the chainsaw. I also have a chain brush, but and I was gonna use it to do the chains on his pants and stuff, but then I realized it doesn't actually look too good, so I'm actually probably gonna redo that chain brush because I didn't like it. And there are the goggles or the sunglasses or whatever the hell those things are on the top of his head. Again, I kind of like freehand all this stuff, and it did turn out fairly well. I think I was kind of in the zone while I was doing these, because normally this is stuff that I would spend a lot more time putzing around on. That dog. Also, I hate drawing kind of like mecha, robot-y sort of stuff, and that's what both of these characters have on their arms, is sort of like the mechanical weaponized arms, you know. So that was something new and difficult and hard to do. I'm okay drawing guns. I actually really enjoy drawing guns, but when it comes to sort of like fantasy weapons and stuff, I get a little lost. Like I have trouble finding like the happy balance between the organic and the non-organic. By the way, in college, I'm gonna tell like a totally random story in the middle of this video. In college, when I took a high-level illustration class that was all about like finding concepts of like defining like high thought concepts through illustration, everybody, well not everybody, but like a lot of people in the class picked mechanical versus nature, or like the unnatural versus the natural. Like 80% of the class picked that. It must be a really popular theme, but I remember the teacher like yelled at everybody and they all had to choose different things. So I picked the Holocaust. I was really interested in the Holocaust at that time, so that's what I worked on for the semester. Ah, coloring. Yum, yum, yum. I love color. Also, I really want to know what that thing is. There's like a knob on his chainsaw arm. It's like right near his elbow, and it kind of looks like a kitchen knob, like on a stove or something. I don't know what that is, but I thought it was neat. I should have spent more time putting details into it, or looking for a better picture, but meh. So shading was pretty, you know, standard fare, sort of like upper, would that be like upper left, like kind of up above him to the left a little bit. I tried to not get too ridiculous with this. I also put some like bluish backlighting just to sort of like highlight the armor and you know, all the fun little bits and bobs. So the chainsaw actually in a lot of the promotional art and stuff is sort of like glowing and on fire. And I'm going to take this time to talk about it because I basically just did the same stuff with the Leo character. So anyway, so the chainsaw is kind of like glowing and fiery and sparking and stuff. So I just decided to go with that as opposed to drawing like the actual teeth like rotating on it, which would have been like a real pain. I could have done it, but I would have had to make like a custom brush for it and stuff, and that's like how this video is gonna go. It's not that I don't care about Seamus's work or anything like that. It's just that you wouldn't be able to see it very well in the finished picture. So like on YouTube, I mean. So, you know, I just kind of like say la vie about it. But I like that thing. I like the what would you call that? Like the lightning blade arm thing that Leo has. The thing's cool. I should have drawn him as Bayonetta. She's like a DLC character for the game, but I don't know if she's on a particular side or not. She's probably on... Nah, I shouldn't even guess. I was gonna say black, but then again, I don't know. The more like anime pretty characters are on the white side, I think, so... I also put a little bit of like shading over his eyes, just because that character has that in the final version. But anyway, so there it is. That's all of it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!